Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 69 of the Pet Behavior Chat. So, today we're going to have a bit of a chat about my upcoming Learn to Speak Dog course. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of background information about why I decided to design this course, where it started, how it was born, how I initially delivered it, a little bit about what's in it. So if anybody is considering taking the course, then I just want to give you a little bit more information about what you can expect from it and who it's suitable for and all those kinds of things. So one thing I found through this work that I've been doing in veterinary behavior medicine is that there is a whole lot of information about canine behavior that I repeat again and again and again. Things that are applicable to almost every single one of my patients and families that I work with, and that are also applicable for dogs that I don't see, so non-behavior patients. But I feel just things that we should all know if we are canine caregivers, if we have a dog, if we're living with a dog, the kinds of things that we probably should know in order to understand them better and in order to provide them with a life that meets their behavioral needs, that meets, of course, also their physical needs, their social needs, all the needs that a dog could possibly have. And I think there's so much misinformation out there. Obviously, if you have a look on Dr. Google, you will find 1,000,001 different opinions. And I wanted there to be a resource out there that was from a veterinary professional, from a veterinary behaviorist, and that was really sort of, I guess, in line with the most up-to-date scientific knowledge, views, opinions. I've recently sat both board exams. So I've recently sat my American and my European board exams. And in studying for those, I literally read and trawled through the most up-to-date literature. So what I deliver in the course, certainly right now, is probably at the forefront of what we know right now about canine behavior. As those things change, I'll update certain modules, but that's what my intention was. And this really is a course that is for pet guardians and pet professionals alike, because as we know, unfortunately, certainly in the veterinary world, knowledge about canine behavior is something that we're not taught a lot about. Certainly behavior medicine, or when things go wrong, so behavioral disorders, are things that we're not taught about. So I feel that this is a course that's definitely a foundation for anybody who's either living or working with dogs. So it's a course that I'm really, really proud of. And I actually very first delivered it as an in-person course. So this was shortly after COVID, and this was at my clinic in Abu Dhabi. I delivered it to a room full. We had perhaps maybe 20 dog guardians. They were clients of mine at the time and clients of the clinic. And we spent a whole, either it was a Saturday or Sunday, almost the whole day, having a full day of literally just talking about dogs. And I presented a lot of material that's in the course in that in-person workshop, and it was such a brilliant day, and I think everybody got so much from it. And people got the opportunity to ask questions, and even though this course now is going to be purely an online course, there's always opportunity to ask me questions in my social media communities. So I have a great Facebook group called the Pet Behavior Community, where I reply, within a couple of days to pretty much any query that people put out there about their pet's behavior. So there is absolutely still opportunity to ask questions and interact with me. It's just that this course is going to be an on-demand course. You can listen to the modules whenever you want to, whichever time zone you're in. You can go back and re-listen to certain modules if there are things in there that you'd like to hear again. So it's really for people's convenience, because the second time round that I ran Learn to Speak Dog was actually as a hybrid course. So it was an online course that was delivered via Zoom, but it was live. So the participants joined me every Tuesday evening for 6 or 7 weeks, I think it was. But obviously, again, with time zone constraints and people's busy lives, that wasn't maybe appropriate for everybody. And again, people did have access to me in the moment and were able to ask questions in the moment. But that is absolutely still a given and something that you can access in, like I say, in my social media communities. You can email me directly. I also am doing once a month a Facebook Live in my pet behavior community, which is Ask Me Anything About Your Pet's Behavior, where you can send your questions in beforehand. I'll answer them live on that session, and then it'll be in the group for you to re-listen to for a period of time, and it'll also go onto our YouTube channel. So lots and lots of ways to still very much interact with me, but I just feel that it's a platform now for a wider audience that don't rely on being in the same time zone as myself, and that maybe want to listen to some of these things at their leisure. So that's a little bit how Learn to Speak Dog was born. I then went away, did my exams, so things were like put on the back burner a little bit, but now I am back after my exams, and one of the first things I wanted to do was to resurrect this Learn to Speak Dog course. And I have actually added to it. I've worked away at it. I have filed away at it as a result of studying for my board exams. And I feel that it is the best it's ever been. It's a bit of a masterpiece, and I'm really, really proud of it. And I think it has so much information in there, and it certainly has all of the sort of basic and foundational information in there that everyone needs to know if they're living with or working with dogs. And then if they want to dive deeper, they can either ask questions, you can ask questions, or you can kind of do deeper research yourself. You can listen to my podcasts, other episodes of, and you can find information in any of the areas that you want to dive deeper into. And maybe I will do a Learn to Speak Dog, I don't know, VIP or Plus in the future, where I dive even deeper into some of these topics. So let me tell you a little bit about the modules that are actually in the course. So it's a 7-module course. We've got 7 modules. The first module is all about canine emotions. So we want to really understand what emotions can our dogs feel, what can they not feel. I go into a little bit about sort of brain physiology, what neurotransmitters are involved. I dive deeper into some of the specific emotions that we tend to be faced with a little bit more, things like fear, anxiety, frustration, what's happening in the brain when dogs are feeling those emotions. Why do some dogs develop fear, anxiety, and others don't? So we basically go into emotions quite deeply. And there are quite a few lessons in that first module. So they're all kind of short lessons, each focusing on one particular topic. So the first big module is canine emotion. The second big module, which is a big one, is all about communication and body language and facial expressions. So I go through all the different communication modalities. So body language and facial expressions would be the first one. So visual communication. Then I also talk a little bit about vocalizations. I also talk a little bit about olfactory communication. So communication via smell and how that differs in dogs, certainly to us. And why that can sometimes catch us off guard. I show a lot of videos and videos of some of my patients, and I kind of talk through the body language that they show. So that's the second big module. The third one is all about socialization, and sometimes a little bit kind of the misconception about what is socialization. So I talk a little bit about, exactly that. What is socialization? I talk about canine social groups, what they are and what they are not. I talk about dog-dog socialization, so communication and socialization between dogs, and also dog-human socialization. And then I go a little bit into the different developmental periods. So there'll also be a little bit about adolescence in there. There'll be a little bit about the dominance myth and why we don't think about dominant structures in dogs anymore. So there's quite a lot in that socialization module, just because I think that's one of the areas that people have so many questions about. And it's one of the areas that I think we have the most misconceptions. The idea that all dogs must socialize with other dogs and so on. So I delve deep into that, and I explain the scientific background and natural dog development and behavior and what that all means. So that's the third module. The fourth module will be all about learning and training. So it's going to be a little bit about how dogs learn, what are the sort of some of the basic learning theories that we make use of with our dogs, the fact that they're learning all throughout their lives, and also the type of learning that we don't want them to do, and the type of training methodologies that we don't want to use, and why. So I think that's an important one, because when we're living with dogs, literally dogs are sponges and are learning all the time. And whether that's good learning, or whether they're learning good things, or things that we want them to learn, or things that we don't want them to learn, we need to be aware of that. And we need to be aware how we can influence that, and also some of the methodologies that might be harmful to our dogs and actually cause mental and emotional and maybe even physical distress. So that is module 4, all about learning and training. Module 5 is all about enrichment. So again, this is something that applies to all dogs in all situations and circumstances, whether they're behaviorally completely healthy and normal dogs, or whether they're behaviorally perhaps a little bit challenged. Enrichment is something that is going to be so good for behavioral health. So lots of different tips and tricks on enrichment, the different types of enrichment. I think we always think immediately about sort of feeding enrichment, but there are so many other types of enrichment that we can also offer our dogs. And I also spend a bit of time here talking about those very important things that are control and choice, why they're so important, how we can offer our dogs more of that. So I think that's a really big module as well, and one that will hopefully be really useful and very practical. And then the last 2 modules, so module number 6 is our exercises for behavioral health. So I'm going to be talking through the exercises that I recommend to most of my behavior patients, and they're exercises that, again, are pretty much applicable for everybody, things that are important to all dogs from a behavioral point of view. And don't think about these so much as training exercises, but think about them more as therapeutic exercises, or things to provide in an everyday world and an everyday setting that are going to benefit our dogs' mental and emotional health. And then the final module, module 7, is going to be all about tools and products for behavioral health. So here I'll be talking a little bit about actual sort of tools. So I guess things like harnesses and leads and, muzzles, and what we recommend and what we don't recommend, and why. Also products that can be used for behavioral health, whether that's pheromone products or supplements, the ones that I think are actually useful and that we have evidence base for. We'll talk a little bit about diets. We'll talk about a few other bits and bobs. So these are all things, again, that are very, very practical. So the course has specifically been designed in a way that the first half is a little bit the theory behind things, the understanding, so that you understand your dogs better, and that you understand perhaps what they need from you, either as a guardian or a professional, to help them feel safe and to help them feel and to meet their behavioral needs. So that's the first half. And then the second half, we really dive into the practical applications of that. So one of the aims of this course is for people to be able to go away and immediately implement strategies that are going to change their dogs' lives immediately from that moment onwards. So that was my thinking behind that. But in order to sort of fully understand the practical elements, I think you need to understand the why and some of the theory behind it as well. So that is that's everything about Learn to Speak Dog. I'm going to put in the show notes. So currently the course is on waitlist. So it launches on the 27th of February, 2025, which is my birthday. And that was obviously done on purpose. So I want to learn this course that means so much to me on my birthday. I'm going to, alongside Learn to Speak Dog, be launching a course called Learn to Speak Cat as well, which I will chat all about in the next episode. So episode 70 of this podcast, to give you a bit of an idea of what's in that. So they'll be launching on the 27th of February. Now, we do have a wait list open immediately from right now that you can register your interest to. And if you're on the wait list, you will absolutely get preferential access as soon as the course launches. And there is also a discount of 50% on the regular price of the course for the whole month of March. So March 2025, from the 1st of April 2025, prices will go back up to their regular prices. So the price for the course is $272. like 27th of February. So it's $272 is the regular price, and the 50% discounted price will be $136. Everything is in US dollars. So $272 US dollars and $136 US dollars is the early bird discounted price. And if you want to buy both courses together, that's Learn to Speak Dog and Learn to Speak Cat, then the combined price for both of those is $444 US dollars, and the early bird discount just $222 US dollars for both of those courses. So if you are interested, please click the link in the show notes to get on the wait list for that. I am also going to be holding already next week. It's the week after. It's on the 19th and 20th of February. So a week before the course launches, I've got 2 free workshops happening. One is for dogs, which is the top 10 communication signs of dogs. And one is for cats, which is the 5 pillars to happy cats. So if you want to jump on that free workshop, there's probably a little bit of a taster for what is going to be in the Learn to Speak and Learn to Speak Cat courses. Obviously much shorter, and only going to be focusing in on one of those topics, and giving you a little bit of a taster of how I present things, how I explain things, the kind of depth that I go into, the knowledge that I share with you guys. So if you're interested, I'm also going to put in the show notes the links to sign up to the canine and the feline free workshops. And they are going to be happening on the 19th and the 20th of February, 2025. If you can't attend those live in person, you will absolutely get the recording the following day, so you can listen to those at your leisure as well. All right, I hope I have given you a little bit of a sneak peek into Learn to Speak Dog. I hope that you're excited and you're curious. I hope you jump onto it. If you are a dog guardian, if you're a dog professional, then this is a course that you absolutely want to dive into and understand the most sort of up-to-date and recent knowledge in canine behavior. So I very much hope to see you there, and I hope to see you perhaps in one of the free workshops as well. And I will be giving you all the information about Learn to Speak Cat in the next podcast episode. So bye for now, and see you next week.